beautiful wild woman. Welcome back to the Wild Woman podcast. I am your host, Hannah Ferrari, and absolutely delighted to welcome you back to the next episode here. In this space here, we're always traveling in this beautiful energy that is in pursuit of your depth, truth, and inner wisdom. So get cozy, get comfortable, and let's dive right in. So what's been happening this week, particularly for me, is an interesting project, and it's on a very, very personal level. I repeat, on a personal level. I have actually taken on a challenge that is called 75 Hard. So if you have heard someone else doing it, maybe you've seen it on social media. I heard about this challenge already a few years ago, and until now I have been like, absolutely full body no, I would never challenge myself to do something like this. I already know I would be setting myself up for a big fat failure because this is not me. But last week I was just I think I was in the bath and just so comfy, cozy at the time, and all of a sudden it popped into my mind, and I asked my husband, would you consider doing it with me? And his answer was no. But I felt like this burn in my body, like, yes, I want to do this. So if you don't know what 75 Hard is, it's actually pretty tough challenge, but I'm gonna do a custom version of it. So by now we put a little wolf pack of wild women together who are starting this challenge today, and we are all doing it in our own custom way. So we ended up calling it more like 75 Custom because it's you know, every woman wants to find their own level of what is challenging to them, and at the same time not already know like this is complete no for me. So if you Google 75 Hard and you find this like crazy list of conditions, just know that that's not how crazy we go here, because I like a challenge. Honestly, I craved a challenge at the moment because I lately came to kind of like a culmination. Is there something like a huge process of emotional process kind of finalized itself, as the most recent episode before this one, I also spoke about how sometimes we just need to take a day and just process things and let emotions just pour out, and with that very, very big, like a clear out, energy clearing, just a lot of like emotional release, I came to this spot where actually I have more energy available. I want to start moving again. I want to change my focus on also to my physicality, which is a huge value of mine. Like, how is my physical health? I want to look good, feel good. I want to have a lot of energy, and I want to feel the strength and power, not only on energetic mindset and emotional level, but also physical level. I want to have all kind of in this alignment and supporting me today and every day after today. So that's the reason of this challenge for me, to actually give myself something to tick off from the list. So if you Google 75 Hard rules and see like all of this crazy stuff there, that's not exactly what I'm doing, but I aim to do a workout a day. I aim to do a meditation a day, walk a day, and read at least 30 minutes a day. And also, one of the habits I want to, from now on, to integrate into my days is writing a to-do list every day, either for the day ahead or for the next day, because I have realized this, that focus is one of those things that is one of our most powerful tools. And if you know how to utilize focus, we can be so freaking productive with our days, with our energy, with our intentions. But if we forget and we just focus on always on this flow is a beautiful thing if we have trust in the greater, bigger energies of life, of universe. Yeah, there are certain, I guess, energies that just guide us in life, and certain things just go one way or another, whether we want them or not. But in our daily life, in the details of life, I want to believe that we deserve to have certain like a driver's seat about these little details that actually make up so much of our life. And I find this is this wild woman way as well, like to wake up to these things that we can release control, but we can take charge over certain things. And that's a little beef I have sometimes with people saying like, oh, I'm in this feminine flow, I just take it day by day. At the moment it didn't really work out. It is what it is. I guess it wasn't meant to be. And sometimes it's true, because I'm not a fan of living in a very forceful energy, but at the same time, I need to at least become honest with myself. Maybe I'm calling out here you as well, but I'm mainly calling out myself here. So just notice what is the feeling in your body. Sometimes we just need to be very honest and actually admit to ourselves that it's not only about the flow. I just did not follow through with certain things, or it was just easier to kind of like, my mood changed, my energy changed, as it changes all the time. We can wake up one day feeling like $1 billion, the next day we're feeling like, oh no, like now feel like I'm hit by a train, so all I want to do is just sit at home, eat ice cream and chill out, which is also fine. But I do feel like we deserve sometimes to also cultivate enough personal power that we can still see through with certain projects that we have chosen for ourselves. It's almost like building up confidence and building up like this trust within ourselves. And this is one of the questions, obviously, me being a mindset coach, people come to me very often with like wanting to have more confidence. And if you think about it, it's actually very like this abstract word, confidence. Very often we don't actually stop to think like, what is it that we want when we ask for more confidence? But I feel like confidence from within truly is like this trust, with your own abilities, trust in yourself, trust in your energy, trust that like whatever it will be, I'll be okay. Trust really in self on all possible levels. And I feel like these little challenges and projects that are set up in a doable way, so it's not set up in only in the height of energy and is not thought through and is not like something that is realistic or actually supporting you, and it's not challenging you in a healthy way. It's just pushing you to the extremes. That's not what we're talking about here. But I feel like a little healthy challenge that is long enough to be challenging but short enough to be doable, they can actually help to almost like collect wins, create these circumstances that show you who you are. They create these circumstances that give you something to be proud of, give you something to achieve, give you something to tick off from your list. And they give you this environment that you are now learning something about yourself. It gives you a chance to kind of work towards something that is for you. So if we're talking about like a challenge, like for example, 75 hard, I am not doing it for the things I'm taking off from the list. That's a very important thing for me to remember with myself, is that I'm doing this for me. And this time around, because I've done maybe not challenges like this, but you know, sometimes we have this vibe of like, oh my gosh, from Monday, I'm going to do this. From Monday, I'm going to quit, I don't know, sugar, alcohol, whatever is these things that people sometimes say to themselves. Or from Monday, I'm going to work out every day. Every day I'm going to the gym. And by Thursday afternoon, you're like, yeah, I don't know what happened to that. It feels like ancient history that we even decided to do something like this. It's crazy how quickly we lose like the sight of our projects and the things we wanted to do, and we very quickly fall back into our old habits, old ways. But this time, my personal goal with this is to truly learn and teach myself to hold the energy through. It's very easy to start something up. It's very easy to start something up with this like, boom, yes, I want to do this. Maybe even if you're listening even to this podcast, you might feel this rush of energy is like, oh my gosh, I want to jump on that. Maybe you already, as you listen to it, have already Googled what is 75 hard. And maybe you're thinking, yeah, I want to do this. Imagine that if you take every day like this one day off, how I'm going to feel at the end of this. And it's great that you feel like inspired and you feel like you want to take action. It's amazing. And now let's have this moment of honesty. How many times we've done this before? I have, possibly you have, every single person on the planet has done this before, that we set ourselves up for this certain type of like challenge, or we give ourselves a promise, a goal, and in a few days we completely forgot that this was a thing. Okay. And at the moment we also stepping into this holiday season, so all this new year, new me energy starts very, very soon. And have you already maybe stopped to think what is your New Year's resolution? So I am a little bit maybe like, just thinking what is the energy going to be in 2025. But I decided to get ahead of the game a little bit and challenge myself to this very, very cool personal challenge. And the goal is to hold the energy through the 75 days, even when I know it will be hard at days. I know it will be hard in the phase just before my period, for example. I do not feel then that I want to like, yes, get up in the morning straight away, put tights on and go for a 45-minute walk. No, I don't want to do this when I'm in this phase. But the thing is, it's not about like doing it always to the same maybe speed or to the same distance or to the same intensity, but the goal is to do it. The goal is to give myself this experience of like, this is me holding myself through this energy from the beginning, setting myself up and actually finalizing, finishing, coming to the end of this project with that energy, knowing this is what I can do for myself. And this is what I want to like give myself an experience of, that I started and I finished it. I started and I saw it through, because when I look back, I have a lot of projects that I started and that's completely fine. I feel like this is one of those wild woman ways as well, that we are creative women. We are women in search of something deep and meaningful. Very often the energy of certain things we want to dig into just integrates really fast. Like, for example, have you ever started reading a book and you read like 10 pages and you're like, yep, I got the gist, that's it. And it feels so good. Like, okay, I've got certain like realizations here, and you never pick that book up again. Certain things is just completely fine that we do this, because we don't need to like sometimes go any further with certain things that we know, like, yep, I think I've like gotten everything I need to get out of this, or I wanted to paint for a week and after that I can sell all their painting equipment with complete peace of mind on Marketplace, because I know I'm not going to come back to painting, or whatever this thing is. Like, for example, I'm sitting here at the moment and looking at a sewing machine. So yeah, I think a couple of years ago I bought myself a sewing machine because I wanted to sew something. I did sew the thing I wanted to sew. I have it, I wear it, I love it. It's a beautiful, like a kimono, golden kimono. And very rarely I actually used this sewing machine after that. And on the weekend, actually, I got it out and some pieces fell off it, and I don't know what to do with it now. And so there are some projects that come and go, and we should never stop searching for these projects and going for this project just because we don't know how long they last. But certain things that are for you, that are to benefit you, that are to up-level you, this is worth putting our intention, our focus, our energy towards too. Because you know what, ladies, we deserve to put this effort towards us. It's so easy to move the heaven and earth for someone else, but doing it for us and feeling the same level of validation and pride from these achievements, that's next level wild woman stuff here. Doing it for yourself, for your validation, for your belonging to yourself, this is next level wild woman stuff. Truly staying connected to the why that you started with and remembering this why every single day, every moment where it's easier to not do the things, remembering that why and coming back to your own value and your worth. This is so amazing. And don't get me wrong, I'm not interested in creating forceful energy in my life. I don't like forceful energy because it gives me instantly this feeling like that I am like I almost like I'm a child that is forced to do something. It's a weird feeling that I don't like forceful energy, because I feel like if I'm doing something because I'm forced to, it takes about 100 times more energy from me then I would do the same thing with just like with this feeling of like, yeah, I want to do it, I'm doing it. So I'm not interested in like forcing myself to do anything, but what I am interested in giving myself a powerful experience. Another thing is, if we're not willing to face these moments of like of these moments when I'm not wanting to follow through, if we're not putting ourselves into these potentially not following through moments, then there's nothing to work with. Because by the end of the day, one thing I'm noticing is doing something that takes a lot of bravery, courage, and focus. We're not doing that in life very often. Very rarely grown-ups truly challenge themselves to this like true like growth that takes like learning a new skill, that takes learning a new energy. Very rarely we actually do that, or we voluntarily put ourselves into this situation that really challenge ourselves to step out of the comfort zone. We do that as children. We do this as kids. Like school is always pushing ourselves to learn something, and I would hate to think that grown-ups peak in high school. I would hate to think that. It's my goal to constantly keep like working on things, and even with this challenge, kind of like the goal a little bit is to work out some personal relationship I have with certain habits in my life, and noticing like, okay, if I'm feeling like I need to eat way more sugar than I actually know my body needs and is healthy for me, then is there something behind it that I can address? For example, instead of just doing it and calling it the feminine flow, I'm actually interested also in this like true wild woman honesty. Let me actually put myself in a position where I can find out something about me. I can find out and see what are the feelings that come up if I pull my focus towards like my eating habits. Like what is this bringing to the surface? But if I would never create the circumstances for this to actually emerge, and I would just keep eating sugar, for example, there's nothing to work with, and I can just go down the beaten path and just nothing changes from it. Nothing benefits from it either. So these are the little things that I feel like I've come to this level personally, where I don't need to maybe like constantly worry about my safety, constantly worry about how I'm feeling, because a few years ago the picture was very different. I couldn't even think straight enough to actually challenge myself to something like this, because daily life was challenging enough because of my depression, my anxiety, and now I actually want to kind of challenge myself to like, okay, let's see what are the emotions that come up, what is the energy that comes up. Let me actually take myself voluntarily to the next level, that I'm not pushed to search for this growth. I want to actually create this growth for myself. I want to seek it out. So if anything about this kind of rang a bell for you, or feel like, actually, yeah, good point. I want to actually try something like this, let me know, message me. I love getting little messages about these podcast episodes that you've been listening and the little realization they have given you. So let me know if you're jumping on some sort of challenge as well. Just know that from me, from a person who speaks here, there's no pressure whatsoever for you to do any challenge or change anything about yourself. This is just kind of like a personal journey here I am sharing with the realizations and with the wisdom I extract along the way. And yes, I love kind of tying this up with the real-time experience of what's going on in my life as well. And this is what's going on at the moment for me. Challenge day 1 is on, and I can't wait to take you kind of along the journey with me as well, to see now it's put out literally on the podcast that I'm doing this, and I've been sharing this on my socials as well. So it's important for me to follow through with it. And something is really squeaking on the background outside at the moment, so I hope it doesn't really bother the sound quality, but if it is, I apologize. So yes, that's the main, I feel like for me, the energy at the moment here, that I want to choose something for me, and I want to learn to hold the energy through, that I deserve to hold it through, because it's so normal to start something up and then decide it wasn't meant to be. It's so normal to be faced with the challenge and be like, yes, no, it's just I didn't feel this is right for me. And actually it could have been right if we would have taken some charge and made it right for me, right for us. And it's this honesty is where I want to come back with things always. And the honesty can go both ways. And sometimes the honesty is like, yep, this wasn't for me. And sometimes the honesty is, no, this is for me. You've chosen yourself a goal. Go for the goal. Don't let go of this energy, because you deserve the focus. You deserve your own energy to put towards this goal and follow through, for nobody else but for you, and how you're going to feel when you are at the end of this. And another massive realization I had here very recently as well is that I get bored so easily and so fast. I get bored of the sameness. I get bored of doing the same thing over and over again. And challenges like this help me to diffuse that energy and kind of create something new and fresh in my life. And it reminded me, before I came to Australia, I was, this 20-something young girl, just kind of learning about myself, learning about little habits and how they affect my life and all of this. And I gave myself a challenge sometimes to try a habit or try something new for a month. And I just realized now, it's been a decade and I haven't really done this with myself. I've been on this huge healing journey, huge growth journey, and I want to bring this back, that I try these little things out. I'm not forcing myself to stuck with the habit or ritual or some sort of thing I must do every single day until the end of time. No, but this little things along the way. For example, I remember it was also I think November or December, coming into this Christmas season, might have been now 11 years ago, no more even, maybe 13 years ago, 14 years ago even. I was working as a pastry chef at the time, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, Christmas is coming, this crazy pot roast season where everyone's eating meat like no tomorrow, and I already felt this heaviness, is this it felt like it's going to be a season of just overdoing everything and a lot of sitting and around the tables and this, family dinners. And I decided to give myself a challenge to not eat meat for a month. And I became a vegetarian for years. I didn't even realize. I think I realized that my month had stretched for a year when it was next Christmas. So sometimes we might with these little challenges, find something that actually, geez, like works so well for us. I'm not a vegetarian anymore, but it really agreed with me at the time, and made my holiday season actually very, very much like nicer and lovelier experience. Almost like what I like about these little like short challenges is that they keep me awake to these things. They keep me like conscious. They keep me noticing how I'm feeling. They keep me on this certain track that just sleepwalking through my days as I do all the time is not giving me the same kind of like, almost like this spark in my brain, in my body. So yes, that's the inspiration behind the challenge as well. So yes, I trust today's episode just needed to be a little storytelling from me, and if you picked up little nuggets from it, great. Let me know what they were. I'm so happy. And just yesterday I received a beautiful message from a lady who listens to this podcast as well, and she says like this just gently has actually been changing her life and thinking along the way just because she's been listening to this episode. So I'm so grateful, and I love bringing these both energies into this space as well. This is the wild woman energy that is feminine mixed with the beautiful touch of healthy integrated masculine as well, that we do want to take charge. We do want to challenge ourselves. We do want to balance out the energy, the mindset, the emotions, the soul, the spirit, the mind, the body, the physicality as well. So it all intertwines. We can never separate them for us, even if we want to. And yeah, sometimes we work more in one end and then we come back to the other end. One aspect needs more focus than the other. Wherever you are at the moment, I wish you a great time with whatever you are working on at the moment. Sending you so much love, dear wild woman, and talk soon again. Much love.